Yo, yo, happy 2023. I hope you all having a fantastic start of the year. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. People keep speaking about crypto and we just lose money. I've only but made money this year. It's been a great year of gains. All I see is the market's just been raging the whole of 2023. Guys, I hope you're doing fantastic. If you're brand new to the channel, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. I'm glad to be back. I'm feeling good this year. I think last year was a good self-growth for a lot of us. I think it was definitely not a time to make lots of money, but it was definitely a lot of lessons. And now it is time to implement all of that into the new year. I don't think this year is going to be worse than 2022 when it comes to crypto. May there be a new low? Definitely. There could still be a new low. We'll go through the chart shortly. But I don't think it's going to be worse. I definitely don't think it's going to be worse. I think it may be a little bit more boring. But by boring, I'm not talking about 100% pushes. I'm talking maybe, 30, 40% moves quite often. And ultimately, we got to put all the tools that we've learned in the last year or two all into play. If we are going to be trading ranges, your long-term, jump to the safest assets, crypto, ETH, these ones. Maybe you got 2 or 3 altcoins, no problem. Leave those bad boys. You come back to those bad boys in 2024. You need to take your portfolio now and decide what are you using this year to trade with and to learn how to build longer term and to flush money out and to ultimately accumulate more tokens than what you can throughout these times. And the rest of it, put it in a long term, leave it. And let's do it, guys. Massive show. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys altcoin breakouts. The big one is Ethereum to Bitcoin. The big one that we've been speaking about on the very high time frame, which is the weekly. Now we are starting to get the wedge breakout of Ethereum. And you can see very much right now, Ethereum is starting to wake up. So guys, seriously, for me, Ethereum is more in my long term than Bitcoin right now. So massive breakout on the higher time frame for that. And that's what's currently causing the dominance to come downwards. And now we're starting to get altcoin pops all over. We need to still remember the same big lesson of not chasing pumps, buying nice strong pullbacks. I know we got a little bit of, I think it's the minutes tonight that's happening, which should create a little bit of volatility, hopefully slip us into a few more great entries. But I'm going to give you guys the trades that I'm currently taking, the ones I'm adding through in tonight, the ones that I'm currently in at the moment. And we are going to make this the best year yet. I'm telling you, we're going to have a phenomenal year. I feel like we need the sniper song. Josh, put the sniper song and let's start off 2023. Let's hit it.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charge right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charge right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Alrighty, guys. So how are we feeling? Pop in the comments. I know it was a tough 2022. What are we thinking? Better year this year? Do we still think there's new lows? Push the comment. I want to see what you guys are thinking out there. I've missed you all. I know Rand is also itching to get back. He's pumped more than ever. He got the Solana pump. Who got the Solana pump? For me, I think, what was the token, Craig? I know you're there. I'm going to bring you on. What's the token that might have pumped? Bonk token. Apparently, this is a token that's probably pushed Solana quite a bit. I think Solana is a big topic we're going to speak about in the show. First thing, guys, remember Sniper School. We have, I think, 700 spots available left. Cohort starts, I think it's the 23rd of Jan. Next cohort starts. We're looking to push 5,000 students through. We had 1,300 on the first one, 5,000 students through. In order to get that, you need to use one of our exchange links, and you have to have 100 dollars deposited into that account. You get to trade with that. We trade in the course. You have to do trades. We trade together and all of that. So you get to use that with you. And once you have got that, if you go below and you see this video over here, you'll see in the video's description where you're able to register for Sniper School. You're going to put your user ID in, and then, I think 700 spots left, 5,000. And then the next one will run again in February. Remember, guys, we do have all the different exchanges: Bitget, OKX, Binance, BYBIT. By using any of these and being a part of these, it supports the channel. And that's how we're able to give everything for free for you guys. The Discord, with the VIP sections, you get calls there every day. You got the Sniper Discord. So that's the way that we can do everything for free for you guys. You just got to be using one of these. If you do have a pre-existing one, you just open on a different exchange or anything for the school with the $100. And then, guys, okay, so I chose to sit and say, guys, like, you saw last year I was busy and up and down and these sort of things. Go watch this video. Thank you, Bear Market, on my channel, Sheldon the Sniper. Go watch it. You're going to see the new journey that's just launched for myself. Let's get into the charts. I don't waste too much time. So if we have a look at the total three, altcoins. Right now, 8-hour, 12-hour, we're breaking 50 moving average. We are breaking a trend, and we're starting to get a little movement to the upside. We have obviously come from a recent little drop-off, and ultimately we've broken trend now. And when we break a trend like this, it's basically confirming that we were making a very clear lower highs, lower lows, and we're continuing that sort of standard. And as soon as you get a trend break, the main thing that a trend break is telling you, it's just telling you that possibly no more lower lows, lower highs. Now we're going to start doing something different. And ultimately, once we break the trend, you want to see the first little clue, which is break the next high. That's the first little tick. After that, you want to see important moving averages being pushed through as well. No longer resistance, because you can see the more we tap it and we don't hold it, you can see how we just keep getting rejected. And once we do have areas of where we break it properly, it can give us a little indication of a nice little rally coming up. And ultimately, what we're looking at now is a higher time frame, higher high within the altcoins. Now, I don't think on extreme high time frames, altcoins are safe, and not just yet. And that's what I was saying about your longer term portfolios, to be in the safer assets, the one that Bitcoin, ETH, possibly some USDT. I don't have much USDT at all, but be those in those and decide, guys. Say I'm taking 30% of my portfolio today. I don't care where it's come from. I don't care anything. It's a brand new portfolio. 30%. I'm going to trade for the year. And remember, trading is different for all of you. If you got time in the day, you could jump on the 1 hour and you can trade twice a day. No problem. If you only got time to trade once a week, you jump to the 8-hour and you trade on the 8-hour. If you can only trade twice a month, you jump to the 12-hour and you trade on the 12-hour chart. The time frames are there for you to select where it fits into your life. Stop being afraid of trading. If you don't have time to monitor, do not trade on small time frames. Trade on higher time frames, because it gives you a lot of room to do what it needs to actually do. If you only want to trade once a month, use the daily. If you only want to trade twice a year, use the weekly. Find something for you, but stop using the excuse of not wanting to use trading. Trading can be easy on very high time frames if you're not a technical person. It just means you have to be patient. But it's also phenomenal to understand that when we come from any sort of bear market, the market is going to range. And what a range means is Bitcoin can sit between 16 and 20,000 for a very long time. Maybe there can be a little wick through that goes to 14,000. But ultimately, it's just going to hover like this for a while in a range. Now, you're able to take advantage of growing your dollars when the market's going up. And when the market is going down, you're able to accumulate tokens. You sell at a high point and you buy more tokens for cheaper. But use whatever time frame works for you. Use it to build your damn portfolios as much as you can throughout this time. Very important. So let's look at a few different things so we can see where we're at. And then I'll jump into some trades and some of the big breakouts we're looking at. Total 3, that's a decent one and a good one that we're liking to see. I see we had the stock market, which has done pretty well. Short-term pullback as we see right now, and that's probably why crypto is holding a little bit flat over the last 2-3 hours. I think we're going into minutes later, so the market's probably pre-jumping onto what's happening a little bit later. But ultimately, the stock market did make a higher high in that time. And for now, all we want to see is obviously a higher low. But stock market did okay. It actually ended okay last year. Not too bad. It was a tough year throughout these times, but not a really, really bad ending, which is pretty good. And the rest, I'm not even going to shoot through. Let's actually go into Bitcoin and see what's happening. So Bitcoin, big day. Now, reason why big day, let me just get the zoomed out again. Why? There we go. Big day. Now, reason why big day, obviously it's still holding the low. This is quite interesting. You know, Bitcoin had these previous low areas over here, still holding pretty well, even though you had a few altcoins that went lower and broke, you know, lower ranges. But what we're starting to see now is when we attempted that time, remember that time where the 18,000 was important, get it, break it, hold it. Why? 50 moving average on the daily. And what ended up happening was in that day, we shot quickly up there, and then we got a huge rejection. And when we got a huge rejection, we ended up giving ourselves a very long pin bar daily candle. Now, these are reversal candles on the daily. Now, where are we at again? Firstly, first little break of trend. Now, this is a big reason why I was saying, guys, I'm not getting out of the markets, but I'm jumping to the safer assets because the pump at any point can still come. The big push in the market still come, and then you can diversify back into the altcoins. But Bitcoin, as long as it does not break this low, for as long as this thing does not mean it cannot be the bottom. Of course, it could be at any time. I love that profile picture, the Sniper Masterclass. I haven't seen that in a while. And what we're looking at now is we did have this trend, which we're popping our head through now. So today, it's very important for us to continuation of some longs into the market because I think that this can be a decent week or two of upside for the altcoins and for the market right now. Where that ends up, we will then see on a larger scale, you know, what we do on the higher time frames. But for now, we want Bitcoin to very much clear above 16.8, 16.9 by today. This is the daily candle. Now, it's important because we're popping our head through trend line right now. Now, trend lines have been a little bit tough because volume has been completely dead. You know, I'm sure you guys, you must have this December have not seen a more boring market than what I've seen Bitcoin in a very long time. Like this was just like, it was boring and boring and boring. And usually, you remember what I said, they always creep and go slowly towards the trend line. And once we get a trend line, this is sort of indicating to us that something is shifting and we should start getting some volume. And we've got to continue playing the same method and the same thing. I am back. I'm very much back. So right now, what we want to see Bitcoin close above the 16.8, hopefully the 17K. 17K by today or tomorrow will be good. It will finally give us a close outside of this trend line and basically give an indication that on the daily chart, we should start getting some uprise in the market now. Now, once we have cleared that, then we're looking at the next targets of the first resistance, this one over here, breaking that 17. The next one is the 17.8, and then we have the 18K. And then we still have not gone back to these highs over here. Now, what's quite interesting is maybe that this is possibly a high time frame Bart Simpson that is playing out. And we will soon find out that the trend line is indicating to us that we should get a move soon. So we will soon find out. But maybe this is one of these patterns where it's a Bart Simpson, and at some point we have a strong push up, and then we have the eyebrow that starts to break the higher areas. Possibly. Now, the way it works with trading and the way it works in this market is exactly. Wash your hands, brand new start. That's exactly how it is we always play what the chart is giving us, not caring about anything more, anything less than that. If we get the daily close outside here, it is telling us to be bullish. It is telling us then to protect yourself in these areas over here. Okay, these are just areas that are the previous lows. This is indicating that we should finally start making higher highs and higher lows, and we should start making our way up to the next higher areas. That's what it's indicating to us. So when you do get the signal, you need to learn to become extremely consistent within this market and keep following the same strategies, slightly tweaking them, but stop ignoring them and stop allowing all the noise and stuff outside to stop it. So if this closes out there, it's telling you to be bullish and it's telling you to protect yourself under these lows. If this is a breakout to the upside, we should not be making any lower lows. So from here to the upside. Then what you do is you look at your portfolio, okay, and you say, okay, I'm taking 30% of my portfolio now to trade. And this is the time for me because I want to take an account and I want to expand it. And your goal for 2023 is to take a trading account and make it bigger than your long term. That's your goal. That's your goal. I'll teach you how to flush out and these sort of things. I want you to take the smaller part of your portfolio and I want us to make it bigger than the smaller. That's definitely tinglies. So you want to protect yourself in these areas over here, breakouts, and basically you're making the decision, I want to buy in these areas, and you need to make your decision on where your take profit points are now before you enter that trade. Very important. And do not move it, do not shift it at all. So for me, on the shorter time frames for Bitcoin, if you're a Bitcoin trader, maybe even a slight leverage trader, 1 or 2x, very small right now until you know exactly the direction of the market. My TP point is 17 to 18,000 and 18 to 19,000. They are my two TPs. That's my first trade of 2023. This is Bitcoin. I got a few more others, which I'll give to you guys, but that's just teaching you to get the basis right on your first trade of 2023. Started right, started with structure, started with understanding, started with meaning and knowing what you're actually doing now. Stop playing around and stop gambling. Do this properly and do it structurally. So that's the first understanding of Bitcoin. Not really much bearish views. The only bearish view that I have is obviously us losing basically the 16.3 or the 16.2, making a lower low, breaking back in here. Then what do? We go back to these areas and possibly the net capitulation. But we'll deal with that in the next show if that does actually happen. So after that, let's look at anything else here, anything else. Let's jump into some altcoins. Let's get into the market and see what is actually happening here right now. So I want to speak 2 seconds on Ethereum. Look at this, guys. Ethereum dominance. Boom. Breaking a huge daily wedge. It's a big one, guys. It's big for altcoins. Everyone laughed and said, oh, when the ETH merge happened, it didn't pump through the roof and these sort of things. The ETH merge being a success was a huge thing for ETH in the longer time frame view. And I'm thinking the way I'm seeing the charts and the way I'm seeing things happen right now, ETH well outperforms Bitcoin in 2023. I don't see either of them breaking all-time highs this year, but I see ETH way. And what does that mean? It means by you holding Ethereum, you're making more Bitcoin, ETH outperforms. And ultimately, if you ever do want to shift back into Bitcoin, you're going to make a lot more Bitcoin by holding ETH right now than Bitcoin. And that's just a crazy thing to understand. Now, ETH dominance is showing us a chart, ETH compared to all altcoins. All altcoins, not just Bitcoin. I'll show you the ETH BTC chart, but this is all altcoins. And right now, we're getting a break on the weekly. We see how we held the 50, which was good, and now we're breaking trend. And the same way I just explained to Bitcoin, that when we're breaking trend, it's basically indicating now that ETH's going for the higher highs of this run on the dominance, and it's going to the higher sort of areas, right? Now, where are those areas? Let's look at this on the monthly. This is crazy. This actually looks like a huge cup and handle, a big one, because this is one that comes from 2017. It's a long time, very long time. But look how we have here. Look how we have here. And what's it basically indicating that this move could possibly do from here? It's indicating that from here, we can go attempt these highs over here of the 22, but even attempt these highs of the 25. Now, what does that mean, guys? That means ETH is becoming such a big player compared to Bitcoin that if ETH dominance raises up to those areas of 25%, you can have Bitcoin dominance coming down of 35%. Guys, right now, Ethereum is sitting 20% of the total crypto market cap. All the money that's in crypto, 20% of it's in Ethereum, and has a possibility of getting to the 25% mark. Now, if it does get to the 25% mark, I see Bitcoin coming down to the 35. Now, this is crazy because if you see the growth of ETH to Bitcoin over the last thing, it's been insane, right? But if you have these two tokens now and you have ETH that's sitting with 25% and Bitcoin with 35, now no one can sit here and say there's no possibility that a possible ETH flipping maybe in the next 3 to 5 years is definitely possible. And it's just crazy how ETH has held its lows. It's done so well throughout these times, and it's outperformed many of the tokens. And now what it's showing is we're getting a market bounce, and we're getting a little bit of bullish momentum to the upside, and ETH dominance is still going up. So in the bear market at the time, ETH is still holding better than the rest of the market. But as soon as the market turns bullish, ETH is still a well performer compared to altcoins and that. You do have some altcoins that are slightly outperforming, yes, but as a whole, Ethereum's destroying it. And look at it to the Bitcoin chart. The same thing, ETH to Bitcoin. And now this is where it gets extremely interesting because this next breakout over here basically indicates for us that we're going to the highs. And it means that for the next month, 2 months, ETH has a possibility to outperform Bitcoin by 15 to 20%. That's the first test of the highs. So that means in simple context, if you hold Ethereum right now, making 20% more Bitcoin just by holding Ethereum. Ethereum is the outperformer of Bitcoin right now. Then what's very interesting is after that. After that, we go back to levels we haven't seen for a while. We haven't seen since 2018. And that will give us an area of us going 61% outgrowth of Bitcoin on the higher time frame. Huge, massive, really, really, really big. And then we have the all-time high where we look at these areas over here, giving us up to 100% on Bitcoin. Now, this is the interesting part. If Bitcoin still sits at these levels and ETH to BTC goes to these levels, you're sitting basically with like a 27, 28% ETH dominance, and you're sitting with like a 30, 29% Bitcoin dominance. That's incredible. Like that's a huge, huge, huge thing for ETH. So I just want to remind you again, ETH, guys, for a big part of your long term, a safer play within bear markets and definitely throughout these times. Now, let's speak about ETH quickly on the shorter time frames. Right now, I think the market's going to have a slight pullback. Okay. I think the minutes tonight, I think it creates possibly a little bit of panic. This is what the charts are showing. Quick drop down. But what it's doing now is coming and testing the breakouts that we've just happened. For the first time now, ETH has just broken out the previous high over here, and ETH is breaking a 12-hour trend to the downside. So I'm seeing a quick push down to these areas, and I'm loading up in these areas over here for Ethereum push to get us back to $1,400. This is on the shorter time frame. What is this? It's a 10, 15% move. Who knows? Maybe for now, the Bitcoin temporary low could be in and Bitcoin does go and test 20K after that. We shall see. But for now, I'm setting my next push to the upside, another 10 to 15% within the altcoins. So ETH is definitely one. I'm waiting for another little pullback and slightly bullish. Yes, definitely on the shorter time frames. I still think there's a new low coming this year. I still think these things are happening. But for now, I'm not ignoring that there's money to be made. Now, here's the next big one. I think the BNB and the Binance FUD is slowing down. Not much happening there anymore. And now, think about it. This coin was destroying it, and it was doing incredibly well throughout those times. We needed the FUD to drop down. And now what we can see is we're starting to see trend lines being broken again. It went dead for a while. And it's sort of something that I spoke about in the one show when I did it in Switzerland holiday. Shout out Switzerland. I had a fantastic holiday with my family. So thank you so much. You're just extremely expensive. You're very expensive in a bear market. But what I explained here is if we were going to go to the lows, I still had areas of possibly $200. All we wanted to do was go sideways. Sideways, and get a break over here. So for me, what it's indicating now, the chart without any other news or FUD or anything like that, is it's indicating that BNB is starting to wake up again. And these are the areas that I want to accumulate it now for the medium term. I'm talking January, guys. January, and then we will see from there. We want to get some entries now to make some money and then take some profits and then do it again and repeat. Maybe we're shorting next month. Maybe we're long in the month after. We'll keep working together. But ultimately, BNB is a good one for me. And from here, I'm looking at it get back to areas of close to around the $300 mark to $290 mark as my first target. And then I have the higher areas up to these areas. Right now, let's focus on entries. We focus on TPs and these sort of things. Understand, if you have $1,000, set yourself the goal. I want to make $100 off the $1,000 as step one for 2023. That's a 10% move. So you work out what the 10% move is over here. You go realistically put it to where a resistance is over here, and you make your trade. If it goes more, you don't care. We find another coin. We get another trade again. It's about getting step one right. Start this year off correct, guys. So BNB is one of them. That's looking good. Let's speak about Solana. Woo! Solana, looking a bit fire at the moment. Not bad. I'm pretty impressed. It's been quite scary. For me, it's like go to $4, $6. I'm just going to go with whatever I can at that point to get it there. We're not promised those areas, but definitely right now, this is looking like quite a strong bounce from Solana. It's not safe just yet. This is obviously the high that we want to get above. in order to see that this is a decent pump. It's not a sort of a fake pump or anything like that. I do think it's slightly news orientated and these sort of things, but this is decent. This is volume. This is buying volume, something that's looking really strong for Solana right now. And the way I see it is we had this trend and we have another trend. Now, the one trend is confirming a breakout. The other one is confirming that this is the momentum that the coin is moving in. So for me, I'm looking at adding slight. Run is extremely bullish on Solana again, which I know he's been for a long time, guys. And give the man damn credit for getting us in it in the first place, even though what did happen. It's our fault we didn't take profit at the top as well. But ultimately, this is time for us this could end up being a massive opportunity again. And we got to just protect ourselves, but stop ignoring it, that these could be huge opportunities. So for me, a slight adding point. I'm not an aping point. I'd like to get Solana slightly cheaper, but a slight adding point at the 12.5 because it's looking good. And then the way I want to see it play is I currently have RSIs. So usual stochastic RSIs, right? And you can see that at the top. So what you want to see on those, at least the 4 hour and 8 hour, even today, guys, I think we're going to have great long entries. I really do. And I think we're going to catch momentum with making some gains throughout this month. But do me the favor of we are expecting, we're seeing breakouts right now, and we're expecting retests. And ultimately, still stick to the same rules. The rules are RSIs at the bottom. Very simple. 12 hour, 8 hour, it all depends. If you only want to trade twice this month, wait for the 12 hour to hit the bottom. If you want to trade 4 times this month, trade on the 8 hour at the bottom. If you want to trade 6 times this month, when the 4 hour hits the bottom and it's in this area of support, you buy. So you decide how many times you want to trade this month and how big. The only difference between the time frames is the ranges. So what that means is if you're only trading twice this month, you want to make 20-25% per trade. Okay. If you want to trade 4 times this month, you want to make 10-12% per trade. And if you want to trade 6 times, 8-10% per trade. That's all that's shifting. Slightly less percentages, but more trades. And it all matters on you, on what you want in your life. But for me, when the 4 hour hits the bottom of these areas and we still hold this trend over here, I'm buying because I'm trading quite actively throughout this month. And what I'm looking for next is I'm looking for Solana to make its area back to break these highs. Now, if it continues this momentum and we break this, I'm looking at it getting back to the $18 to $20. That's a good trade. That's a really good trade, even though Solana has done, a crazy push already from the lows of up to 64%. So, you're going to soon respect crypto because it does move just as fast to the downside. It moves triple to the upside when the markets turn crazy bullish. But it's still showing, if you get it right in the next areas, that there could still be another 45% move for you within Solana. So I'm keeping track. There's no Solana in my long term right now. Just until I'm 100% sure. But to make money on it, great. Definitely looking at that. Let's shift through these quite quick, guys. Not Avalanche. This one, Link. So Link for me is getting to an area now, like very soon. And you can see that these are my areas for Link. It's basically between the 5.65 and the top of my range is basically the 5.74. So this is my area over here. We've broken trend. We're above the 50 moving average. And I have my other support trend, the momentum line we want to hold. My targets from here is 6.5, number 1, and 7.1. Now remember, if you are trading 12-hour charts, you could be buying in this area and waiting for the higher point of view because it's only less trades for the whole month. So you can be patient. You don't have to take profits earlier unless on the higher time frames. But remember one thing though, if you are trading higher time frames, make sure your support trend lines, the ones where when the coin's coming down and you got your trend line, that's resistance. But when it breaks it and it starts to move up, that is support. Make sure you have that one in play on the 12-hour. And if we do lose that at any point, it means your target's not going to be hit. It means the market's not strong enough to get to where you wanted to take profits. So then you bank it early and you take what the market has offered you. You be grateful, you say thank you, and you wait for the RSIs to reset again before you do it again. So ChainLink for me is still a big one for me. It was looking so good before Bitcoin got rejected at 18K, and I still see ChainLink as being a extremely strong performer. It's a 10x back to all-time highs. That's a A really good one. Now, the next one, which I think we're going to get the pullback, as I've been speaking about, is UniSwap. Rand just told me this morning, UniSwap, UniSwap, UniSwap. So I said, okay, cool. We'll speak about UniSwap. But for me, it is slightly out of my range. So I am waiting for it around about 5.35 in that sort of area. So it is indicating that I'm not buying it right now. But if it does get 3 to 4% cheaper from here, it's worth it for me. Because what I can do is I can buy in this area over here and I can put a stop loss under this low. Why? Because if you take your momentum line, the one that we should hold, it decided to move this fast. And if it decided to move this fast, it must continue moving this fast. It mustn't slow down or change because then it's not worth it. Then it's invalid, your actual thesis or your analysis. So Uni, a big one. And the target is the major trend line, the next big trend line that it's going towards. And that's pointing towards the 6 to the 6.3 dollar mark. So another 10-15% move over there. Now, let's speak about some of the higher views. And this is one called Vulcan Forge, gaming tokens. So if you are building a long term, right? Doesn't mean your long term. The way I did my long term is I'm just holding a lot of Bitcoin and ETH right now and more ETH in Bitcoin. And reason being is I'm done making it too much like this. But if you do want to accumulate some tokens throughout for the longer term view, because we cannot deny that some of the stuff is so extremely cheap right now, it's ridiculous. And if you hold these things for 2-3 years, the right ones, you could make incredible cash as long as you have set those damn TPs and you know where you're taking profits. Otherwise, you're going to just give it all back. But there is still huge opportunity. So the one that I'm looking at to add a little bit to a longer term portfolio of gaming is Vulcan Forge. And reason being is I'm not actually setting higher TPs just yet. This one is just looking good for me chart wise for some good gains, for something that I'm looking to hold for a month or so. This is very small part of my portfolio, very small. Be smart with your risk management, guys. Don't put stupid money into stupid coins. Like, don't do that. This one is good, but it's not better than Bitcoin and ETH. Like, I've got it categorized correctly. But what it's showing here is we've had these multiple bottoms over here, and right now we're in support again. And what it's showing is if we break through this MA, okay, the last few times we broke through this MA, we actually went to the top of the range. And if you look at where we are right now, the top of the range is 80%. 80% to the top of the range. So keep an eye on Vulcan Forge. That is one personally that I've been adding. Then there's the big topic. I was buying this thing at $2, $2.20 DYDX, but they had a token distribution. What's it called? A token unlock throughout those times. Now, what's happening here is this is very similar. So these are only trading tokens for me. This one not long-term at all, just possibly to make some cash. But what we had is the bottom range that we've tested a few times, and we got this beautiful trend, and we've broken that trend pretty nicely. And it's just showing to the top here is 138%. So guys, I'm not 1,000% confident in this because of the unlocks, but to dip toes with very small amounts, it could be a possible nice mover. You can decide on that one, but it is looking pretty good. We have Near Protocol ripping right now. Look at it on the daily. So we're not going to buy this right now because it's done 20% for the day, but we'll buy it on a retest. But this is a really good breakout from Near Protocol. So that's looking really good. Theta. So currently, this is my position that I own right now. I'm over close to $4,000 profit as we speak. On a Theta position, Theta spot, I think, is still available. So if you look at the Theta chart for spot, leverage, no. But spot, we'll nail down some more leverage entries. But spot, yes. And what I'm looking at here is I'm thinking it goes to the dollar. For the next major. Maybe it breaks it. We'll decide when it's there. But I'm entering here. I have a stop loss around 70 cents. So it is a little bit of a bigger stop loss, around about a 7% stop loss. But I'm looking at a 30% gain. Now, remember, guys, your stop losses, always just use this long position tool. And just make sure that your risk to reward ratio is above, I would say 5 right now. Be stingy in this market. If your risk to reward ratio is more than 5, take the trade. And if you consistently use this tool, you will make money. Remember, you can lose 3 trades, you can lose 5 trades, you can make 1 or 2 trades, and you above what you've lost throughout those times, as long as you use this tool on longing or shorting. So Theta is looking really good. Cardano coming to life. Cardano. shorter time frames. I'm not talking higher time frames just yet, but shorter time frames coming to life, starting to show some momentum. We'll wait for some retest, which is around about 26 cents, but it should go to around 32 cents on this move. It continues this momentum right now. Not buying right now, maybe slight top up zone, and I'll probably TP around these areas around 32 cents. And after that, we have the higher areas of around 42 cents. We will soon see how that's doing, but I'm going to pay attention to catching this one on the pullback. The next one, Fantom. This is the big one, guys. Nearly. And it could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. Keep an eye on this one. I see Fantom exploding when it breaks this weekly. If it breaks this weekly trend, so you basically got this week and next week, if it breaks this weekly trend, I see it exploding. And where do I see it exploding to? I see it going to top of the range of around 50 cents. Let's have a look. 50 cents, which is over 120% profits. I see the 50 moving average on the weekly, 62 cents. That's 200% profits. And then we have the next resistances, which is huge, which is probably around about 500% profits on these ones. So I'm paying attention on Fantom. Andre Cornet coming back, like everything all happening. We'll see what's happening. I'll find out from the research team what's all happening fundamentally. But chart-wise, this is lining up to be a really big one, a really, really good one. So we'll keep eyes on this one. And please remind me or pop me, so if you see this breaking out, let me know too, please, so I can let everyone else know in case anyone didn't see it. And it's the same with these small ones, which I'll get to on the next one. Guys, we're back. I got 2-3 of the trades now that are currently entering zones now. Some of them wait for that pullback. That RSI never lies. They're sitting at the top right now. It never lies to you. If you want to trade 4 times for the month, you use the 8-hour. If you want to trade 6 times, use a 4-hour. If you want to trade 2 times, use the 12-hour. If you want to trade once, use the daily. Choose your time frame, choose your lifestyle, but trade and build a portfolio with me throughout these times. And you need to match whatever you've set your account to do. I'm only trading twice a month. Find your time frame and use that stochastic RSI. When it gets to the bottom and you have a trend line and it's tested and the RSI at the bottom, that's when you buy. Be consistent. Stop being confused. People trade different time frames. They don't know what they're looking at. Choose one time frame. It makes your life so much easier. Guys, I'm happy to be back. Love you all. I miss you all. Please go watch my video on my channel. It is below in the description. I'm very excited to show you what's next. And how much time have we got left? I have 4 more days of leave, and then we come back and I'm doing a sniper show every day, and we're doing school and we're doing everything. I'll see you then. Banter fam. Much love.